for the AFCON trophy, deliberating between Senegal and Morocco. So it's good to see you here.
A round of applause for the maestro himself, Mr. J.J. Okocha. So good, they had to name him twice.
That's right. Now, as you keep that applause going, we welcome on stage Peter Mebert, who is delivering our keynote speech today, Scaling African Gaming Startups Globally, Capital, Talent, and Community. Let's give him a warm welcome.
And he's the founder of Mebert Global Launchpad, and that gives him the bonus to be a round of applause for him one more time. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, I'm taking this seriously, so I'll roll up my sleeves over here. Hello, Lagos. No. I'm not the only one who is warming up the crowd. Hello, Lagos. Thank you very much. Now, really, hello, Lagos. Thank you. Let me start with a quick story. In 1999 spring, a young kid was born in the Soviet Union, was driving into the most posh community in Southern California, Rancho Santa Fe. People are so rich there that they feel underprivileged if they play polo on the second-tier horses. But he had a meeting with one of the great guys out there. His name was ooh, what's that? His name was Greg Reyes. And he liked the kid, he liked the business plan, and he said, look, what's happening there? Thank you, I like that. Anyway, he said, look, you're a great kid, but my friend, Benny, waiting for me on the golf course. So I call him, and if he joins me for your first investment, I'll cut the check right away, we'll do the paperwork later. So he calls him, and I hear the guy on a course swearing, what the goddamn, where are you? I'm waiting for you for 20 minutes now. He said, well, look, I got this kid, and he has a business plan, and he wants $50,000 as seed investment, or whatever. He said, look, cut him a check and get your ass over here, excuse my French. So I said, oh, it's your day, man. He cut me a check, and I was driving out. So this kid was me. About 30 years ago, almost, and it was my first investment I raised in the United States. And it was in 1999, it was the dawn of the internet era. So, Peter Mebert is my name. I was born in the Soviet Union. I have a degree in physics. I moved to the United States about 30 years ago. Since then, I was in strategic consulting, multiple executive positions, investment positions, and I had several startups of my own. And the goal of today's conversation is really how to make African startups go global and how to make them successful and how to make an example of them for all other startups in Africa and other developing countries. So I'm talking from experience. I'm first generation immigrant, and I know what it is to become successful. I know what the ups and downs are, and I will speak from my experience and from my heart. I believe that we live in absolutely unique era. So in 2000s, one person said that to become a member of Unicorn Club, the best thing you can do is to rent a mattress in San Francisco. It was true, because everything was so much concentrated in a small strip of land between San Francisco and San Jose, Silicon Valley. Who have heard about Silicon Valley? Thank you. Who haven't heard about Silicon Valley? Okay. But concentration of technology, of capital, of talent, access to market, everything was so much concentrated. And it was very difficult because of two important ingredients of infrastructure and talent, and almost impossible for entrepreneurs from around the world, Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, to participate in creating value with new technology. What happened since? Who doesn't have a cell phone in this wonderful room? Exactly. So over the last 20 years, infrastructure was widely available and everywhere in the world. So in 2010, only 10% of population of Africa had access to a cell phone. Now it's over 45%, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with the access to internet. It's all over the place. The solution is there. Second thing, talent. Well, over the last 20 years, I'm sure a lot of you know about offshore programming. Leading international companies were sourcing talent in developing countries. It was initially testing, software development, application outsourcing, whatever services there were. So in this 20 years, it was about labor arbitrage. They were looking for talent for cheaper prices to leverage. And inevitably, they developed digital clusters all over the world. Nowadays, in so many countries, from Asia to Latin America, and obviously from Europe to Africa, you have digital clusters with hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, of very talented software developers. So the talent is there. It's not distributed evenly yet, and Africa still has to catch up, but the advancement is huge, and it's so remarkable. Therefore, nowadays, instead of being laggards, countries like Nigeria and the entire continent of Africa may be a powerhouse of innovation, because AI revolution based on the available infrastructure and available talent and skill set provide absolutely even field to entrepreneurs all over the world. You don't have to be in New York and San Francisco to begin your journey, to become national champion and to leverage the existing new wave of the technology. Let me ask you a question. We had a very distinguished and distinctive group of government officials and regulators. Are there entrepreneurs in this audience? Are there investors in this audience? Okay. The only wish I have for this wonderful conference that we have much more hands of entrepreneurs and investors. So the ecosystem without these two crucial ingredients is almost impossible, right? So this is the future, but nonetheless, the opportunity is there. So Africa is the most fastest growing continent in the world. We all know that. It's in terms of GDP and in terms of number of startups. But the investment is still lagging behind. So we still need to catch up. Asia is ahead of us. Latin America is ahead of us. So there's a lot of work to do. But foundation is definitely there. Well, we know that. I don't want just to mention. I want to celebrate the success of African entrepreneurship. We have, thank you, round of applause. Thank you very much for your support. This is tremendous. This is uphill battle. We know that. Reputation is very important. People are snobbish. They sometimes judge not by merit, by the location and some other factors. But nonetheless, we have almost 1,000 startups in Lagos. We have, 600 startups in Cairo. We have 600 startups in Nairobi. We have Johannesburg and Cape Town in South Africa, where I actually spoke at the SU20 last November. That's amazing ecosystem in South Africa. Anybody from South Africa, please raise your hands. Oh, thank you, thank you. So I want to also celebrate, I'm sure, the national heroes. This gentleman who actually became, notorious, and the brand of Africa in the technology world. Respect, and this is a great example for every single entrepreneur over here. So, to wrap up the first part of my speech, it used to be where the value was created in a very small number of locations around the world, quote, developed countries. And being from former Soviet Union, I understand how this gap was difficult to cross. Nowadays, we have a tech boom all over the world, including Africa. We have everything we need from technology, infrastructure, talent, and skill. And therefore, I'm here representing a group of first-generation immigrants in the United States, group of investors, advisors, people who managed to succeed, and we're looking for bright, brave entrepreneurs from Africa to go global. And this is what I want to talk about. Okay. So, gaming itself is an opportunity. I used to work for this industry. I used to be a board member of one of the big betting for sports organizations in the world, and I have hands-on experience in this industry. The beauty of it, that you don't need to compete with Google or Microsoft or OpenAI. No. We need to compete on the understanding of the market, access to market, understanding of local customer, and entrepreneurship spirit. And I'm sure that we have it in this audience and in this country. So, gaming by itself is an enormous industry. You probably know much more about this than I do, but this is like $350 billion industry. There are 3.5, more than that, billion people actually involved in gaming, and it's growing. And most of it is mobile. Africa and Nigeria is a stellar market, one of the fastest developing markets. It's actually growing like 3 or 4 times faster than national GDP. That's one of the most fastest growing industry in the entire country. And the opportunity is there. Moreover, and maybe some people don't realize it, that gaming industry is a great playground. It's like the sandbox for bigger digital industries. Because gaming industry let you understand your customer, let you to optimize your revenue, let you excel and in your go-to-market strategies, let you retain your customers, let you create digital ecosystems. And this is crucially important for any other industry. So my point is that even in the United States, a lot of people who gained experience in the gaming industry later became executives and entrepreneurs in multiple adjacent industries, digital industries. So having a strong gaming industry in Nigeria, in Africa as a whole, opens many, many doors and opens many opportunities. So let's not forget about that. So now, we have infrastructure, we have talent, we have industry. The question is, why aren't so many African entrepreneurs are coming to the global scale? And this is the trick. The investment industry is still very much concentrated around the United States. Over 150% of all venture investments in the world done within the United States. And $627 million of gaming venture capital investment only last year. And you have centers for this industry, right? You have usual suspects: California, Seattle, New York. And I can tell you, as a person who lived on the plane between New York and San Francisco, that people there are unbiased. They are merit-based and colorblind. They're looking for new talent, looking for new ideas, looking for new business models, and they're willing to consider. However, to enter this market, it's not only investment, it's a validation. It's a global validation. If you're successful there, like in this song, if you're successful in New York, you can, you're successful anywhere kind of thing. If you made it there, you can make it anywhere. It's Frank Sinatra's song at some point of time. So it's crucially important for African entrepreneurs to be successful in a global space through the success in this most challenging market. However, 90% of attempts to enter this market actually fails. The question is why? I can give you several cases. So one misconception is lack of leadership. It's lack of managerial skills when it comes to global expansion and global scaling. And this is crucially important. One of the leading edtech startups mismanaged the global expansion and had to go Chapter 11 or go bankrupt. Another issue is that some companies go globally prematurely before having a very solid base in their own country, which is a source of their product, competitive advantage, skills, etc. Another case is a bank. And the bank who was very successful in Europe, a digital bank, tried to enter US market, but grossly underestimated the complexity and peculiarities of the US financial services market. This is specifically important for Nigeria, who is famous for growing fintech market. Another example is that company didn't adopt the product to the international market. They were successful, they tried to piggyback on the homeland success. However, in the new market was different requirements, didn't understand the market, didn't do CASDEV, again, had to pull back. And finally, regulation, which is very important for any entrepreneur. And before you go, you need to study your regulation. We had a discussion about this, and it's crucially important. Also, without this, you will not be successful. I can give you multiple examples of this, but at Mebert Group here, we put together our own survey. So we interviewed over 3,000 of successful and unsuccessful international entrepreneurs who achieved or failed in the United States to identify what are the roots of failure and roots of success. And also another 100 of accelerators who were just working with entrepreneurs. What do we see? Well, raise your hands if you can recognize some of these factors. So number one, it's a problem with scaling of the organization. Entrepreneurs in local markets, very successful, very entrepreneurial, but go global takes a different managerial skill. It's not only entrepreneurial spirit, bravery, and smarts. It's a skill how to grow the organization. A lot of them, they got so much preoccupied with international expansion, they forget about their home market, about their base. They lose the roots, and it causes a lot of problems. 60% of them underestimate the cost and complexity of the expansion, and they miscalculate it, and they run out of money, run out of funds. About 60% try to apply the success of their home market to the international market. Doesn't work. We know that, cuisine, food, fashion, all sorts of things are different. It's obvious, but when people think about digital markets, they underestimate the difference in consumption trends and preferences of these guys. And finally, this is lack of personal leadership. It's lack of ambition, lack of bravery, and people just afraid of their own success. And I know that, in my experience, it's a pretty scary thing. Because again, your company is the entrepreneur to begin with. I summarized all what we found, what we discovered, and some of my experience in a holistic framework, which I will put in my book, Mebert Start, and I called it Mebert Start. And this is a holistic framework for multinational, international entrepreneurs to go to the global market. And the difference and differentiating factor of this, yes, we know there are a lot of frameworks, there are a lot of accelerators and incubators and advisors and whatever. However, I have my own experience, and from my own experience, at least 50%, if not 80% of success, it's not in the company, it's in the founder. That's why the symbol of this Mebert Start is a tree, because the founder, the person behind the success, is the kind of the roots of the tree. And then the company is the trees and the stem and everything. So we go through 6 modules about the personality, everything from founder strategy, the pillars of success, how do you choose your core competency, in founder's productivity, because market is very, very competitive. It's about leadership and running teams, international teams. It's about communication, personal brand, negotiations, and working with clients, investors, teams, etc. And it's, funny enough, about survivability, because it's very tough, and physically and mentally, a person who trying to achieve something in this market has to be prepared, he or she. So, now how we get from the winning mindset to the global leadership. Let me show you a little video. It's kind of sharing my dream, how it may look like, and you give me your feedback. Oh, there's no sound. Oh, there's no sound. Okay, so this is there sound? Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody liked it? Thank you for that. Oh, so this is a story of the best startups all over the world actually going global. And I think I lost my presentation somewhere. Oh, there you go. So what we did, we do understand, again, following our own research, that you have to adopt whatever you offer to the local market. So with my dear friend and dear partner, Hilton Tennyson from South Africa, who is a very well-known person there. He is part of the entrepreneurial infrastructure of South Africa. We developed the program for multinational startups to go global. We call it Global Launchpad. And it builds on his experience in the raising entrepreneurs in Africa and my experience on taking companies global. And it creates a unique opportunity to very quickly ramp up your skill set, your self-esteem, your go-to-market strategies, whatever, and actually enter this market successfully. And I want to emphasize that more success stories from Africa we have on a global basis. Better the reputation, better the opportunity, better the brand of Africa is at the international investors community. So this is crucially important. To support these initiatives, you are the first to know that we're launching a GITC. GITC is the Global Innovation Technology Commonwealth. Because the communities of startup founders and investors are run by community leaders, people who actually know how to communicate with local communities. Do we have representatives of technoparks or accelerators or startup communities or investor communities? Raise your hands. Not many, honestly, but some, which is great. So this is community of communities to empower local startup communities to provide more support, knowledge, infrastructure, everything to African startups. So this is the plan. And last but not the least, this year we'll have the first Stars Up Awards for the most successful international startups going to the global market. We don't have the date yet, but it's going to be linked to the Football World Cup, and I wish the Nigerian national team success, which will going to take place in the United States this summer. So, to entertain you a little bit in the end, to support all this ideas and plans and whatever, we're putting together with our African colleagues the live show about how to entrepreneur to enter the global market. And something I want to announce today, we're looking for an African cast because now we have a live entrepreneur from Eastern Europe and myself, and then our two digital twins who are trying to get to the global market, and they fail, and they learn, and they succeed eventually. So we're looking for 2 or 3 African entrepreneurs who will be willing to participate in this live show the coming year. So if anybody interested, you're more than welcome. We'll have a little bit of screening and discussion, and hopefully we'll choose great people. So close up my conversation here. I'd like to show you a little episode from this show to entertain you a little bit. Can I have sound, please? Thank you. Thank you. Please follow us. Please join us. We need more talented people with great ideas. And to wrap this up in 4 points. Dream globally. Don't be afraid. Don't ask permission of anyone. Plan smartly. Execute decisively. And success is there for you. Thank you very much, Lagos. Thank you.
Well-researched, incredibly packaged keynote. Peter Mebert, everybody, give him another round of applause. And so many incredible takeaways from that. My favorite being that we relocated the headquarters of trying to be a successful gaming or tech startup from San Francisco to, I'm going to be biased and say to Lagos. But to see that geography has shifted from what it was before. Now the conversations are happening here on the African continent with, I counted, I think, almost 3,000 startups if you tally all the different regions together that he highlighted in his presentation, and of course the millions of dollars that is going around in funding and investment. So fantastic news and something for all of us to take